Hello. Hi, Sasha. Hey, Ken. Oh, hey, Ken. Ha, love you. Hey. Hey.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
I am great. I'm turning off the air conditioner. I'm getting comfy. Good evening to you. My mom just joined.
Should I turn my Should I turn my air off?
No, you sound perfect.
Work.
You sound great. Work. How are you, Boo? I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for being with me today.
It's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here. You look great, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I threw on a little earring that my high school geometry teacher gave me. She knows that I love drag and that I love putting on clothes that emanate her energy. So I figured I'd throw some on for you tonight.
Work. Well, I'm gonna get ready. Hold on. I want to get ready too. Hold on. All
Oh
right.
yeah, get yourself ready. Oh my God, no! Come back to me. Oh my gosh. Wow, you got that work done really fast.
Yeah, are you gagging?
I ain't gagging.
I'm obsessed with this filter. All right, we gotta get ready. All right, we gotta get serious. I'm obsessed with this filter.
We're good
All
to
right,
be
here we
silly.
go.
We're good to be silly. You look beautiful either way. I love it. I just want to start by saying my name. I'm Zach. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I am the director of youth outreach and a facilitator with the Future Perfect Project. And I always want to start off with a huge gratitude to you for your time. I know how busy you are. I know you're in LA right now. I'm so grateful that you took out the time to speak with us and to speak with this queer youth who are already so inspired by you, and I'm so excited for them to get to know you better and for me to get to know you better. I love that we got to meet a year ago at the Berkeley Rep, but now we get this like beautiful time together. I'm just souped. I'm souped that I get to introduce you to a little bit of. Are you there? It says you're loading. Oh, lost you. Bob will come back. Here we go. Oh, you're still here. You're coming.
Sorry about that.
Technology. It happens.
Technology.
It happens. I'm just
It does.
happy you're here. And I just want to reiterate my gratitude for you taking the time to join us and be with us and talk to this queer youth. And as you already are such an inspiration for them, just to get to know, for them to get to know you better, your process, your experience as a queer artist, and for me to get to know you better, because I'm so grateful that, again, we got to meet a year ago in Berkeley around this time. You were working
Yeah.
on a piece of your original work. I was working on a show by John Leguizamo, and here we are a year later, still chit chatting. I love it.
Right.
You're a beautiful soul.
And also, by the way, I'm actually in Manhattan right now. I'm back home. I got back last night.
Oh my God, wow, you are making it happen. Well, because I know that you're working on your show. We're going to talk about your show a little bit. We're going to talk about your comedy show that you have coming up. Like, I'm very excited about the things that you're doing and the energy and the queerness that you're putting out into the world. A little bit about the Future Perfect Project. Just so you know, and for those of you who are joining us for the first time, the Future Perfect Project is a grant-based organization that supports LGBTQ plus youth and allies by providing free programming. Our true belief is that the future is in the hands of our youth, and they know how they want to see the world, and we just want to empower them and amplify their voices for them to be able to express themselves now, and for their voices to be heard, and for them to be able to hear you tonight, Bob, is like a beautiful experience for us all. So I just want to start off again. My name is Zach. My pronouns are they, them. And I'm just wondering if you could give us like a lowdown who you are, what your pronouns are, and then just something that you're grateful for today.
So my name is Bob, the drag queen. All my friends call me Bob. My pronouns are she, her, hers, he, him, his. And it's really based on how you know me, what people call me. Usually, a lot of my drag friends call me she, her, hers. My mom calls me he, him. Um, and I'm a stand-up comedian. I am an activist. I'm an actor. I'm a writer, a drag queen, chanteuse, a light dancer. Um, and I'm based in Manhattan. I've lived in New York City now for 12 years. And I'm
Yes,
probably most famously known for winning season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
yes, you did, and you are a dancer. I saw you on that season, so I know you can move.
Yeah,
I know
I
you
can.
can move.
An
We've been
actor
out
who
dancing. I saw you
moves.
give a little bit when we went out dancing. I know you have it.
An actor who moves is what I would put on my resume.
There you go. I'm so glad. I want to just jump right in and find out more about who, like, in high school. What were you like, and how did that affect your? How did your queerness affect that? And was there something in high school, for instance, that you were like, wow, that's really something's up with that, and I want to change that, or I want to do something about that? Was there anything in particular in high school you're like, I need that to change, or something about that is wrong?
Well, no, I didn't feel wrong or anything in high school. I mean, I wasn't out in high school, and I wanted to change that for sure. And I grew up in I went to high school in the suburbs of Atlanta, which most people from Atlanta, a lot of people don't know this, most people in Atlanta live in the suburbs. So Atlanta itself, like Atlanta proper, has a population of about like maybe 300,000 people, but the metro Atlanta area is about 6 million people. So most people, about 5.5 million people live in the suburbs. And I was one of those people living in the suburbs of Atlanta. Um, and I don't remember particularly feeling a need to like change my experience but I remember thinking that I could not live my life closeted forever. Speaking of closet, I'm right next to my closet. Speaking of which, it's also symbolic. It's so symbolic. Um,
Get out the closet.
right? And I graduated high school in 2004, 16 years ago.
Okay, what was that like for you coming out of the closet? What were you? It was after high school, correct?
Yeah, well, I came out to a few people my senior year, and then I came out officially my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
Which
Now
is
that
which
must have been,
seems so late by 2020 standards, but in 2006 that felt standard. Like in 2006, that felt like when you come out.
yes, girl. I had my first secret boyfriend my senior year of high school, and I didn't like, I knew I was gay before then, but sort of similarly, I was like, I can't live my life in the closet the whole time.
Well, how old are you?
I was I was
How old
17.
are you?
Oh my gosh, Bob. I'm 29. I'm 29 now.
Okay. I'm a scotch older than you are. I'm 34.
Okay. Ooh. Yes, and look and fly. Something I think is really interesting to recognize too with these young people is like, just like you were talking about Atlanta, sometimes it depends on where you're from and how comfortable you are coming out of the closet. So I really appreciate you acknowledging like what it was like for you in Atlanta. Um,
Yeah, and I always tell folks, everyone's like, "What should I do to come out?" And I'm like, I can't answer that question for you because it's really based on your circumstances. And if I don't know your
mhm.
circumstances, I can't recommend you barge into your parents' rooms and yell, "I'm queer," and you better accept it because who knows what that'll end up being. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And what is, that experience is definitely individual and changes for person to person. What was the moment that you knew that you were queer? Because, right, for me, I knew I was gay before I actually came out, right? I knew I was queer before I came out. What was that moment for you?
Well, I was told that I was gay before I ever told anyone that I was. I mean, everyone kind of just told. Yeah, being called gay was a big part of my life growing up. Or just being told that I was gay. So I reckon I've known for a really long time because people made sure that I knew that. You know.
I'm curious too, because I know that you use a plethora of pronouns. Has that always been the case for you, or is that something that's evolved? I know you said your mother uses your he him pronouns. You mean your drag mother or your real mother?
My birth mother, Martha Caldwell.
Martha Caldwell uses he him. But so
Yeah.
what has it been like for you in, as you said, it depends on how someone knows you. What's that been like for you in terms of acknowledging your pronouns, being comfortable with your pronouns? Do you feel like you have to enforce them in any way, or is it?
Well, I'm pretty fluid about my pronouns, and I didn't really, I didn't really start, using any pronouns besides he, him until I got into my drag career. And then once I started meeting people who did drag with me, we would like basically refer to each other as our drag names, whether we were working or not. So if you knew a guy named Brittany, you just called him Brittany, whether he was in drag or out of drag, and that's just what we just called him. Like, oh, that's Brittany, she's amazing. And Brittany would just be presenting very male, identifying as male, but still in this particular context, the pronoun was she. And so that was my experience with like the pronoun change, the pronoun switch, what that means, and my gateway into exploring what it means to be non-binary.
Yeah, I really appreciate you acknowledging that, because this is so much of what I'm learning with the young people that we work with at the Future Perfect Project in our programming is, again, the experience is so individual. And I think about my own and I realize coming out as non-binary was like a whole other experience for me. It was like, oh, I'm gay. No, I'm non-binary. No, but at the same time, I was all of these things at once. And it was just a different way for which I could discover it. I'm wondering when you felt the agency to be able to say, here I am, I'm a queer person. Was it that moment, your sophomore year of college? What was that like, that experience of coming out and being able to say, oh, I'm queer openly to people?
I don't think I used the term queer until I moved to New York City and I joined an activist group called Queer Rising, actually. And I really enjoyed the word queer and how it encompasses a lot of, there's a lot more nuance to queer than there is. It encompasses a lot of things, which I feel like I embody and describe me quite wonderfully, actually. And before that, like also like growing up in Georgia, when I did and where I did, we didn't really have a vernacular like non-binary or pansexual. It was gay, straight, and bi. Those were the options, and the elusive asexual.
The elusive, which is it's so interesting because that's so much a part of our community as well. People from all different identities. I'm curious, like, yes, you're queer and exciting and wonderful in that way. I'm wondering, when did you know you were an artist?
Oh, I've wanted to be an artist since I was a child. I mean, I've loved performing, singing, dancing, telling jokes, making people laugh, putting on a show my whole life. I mean, I didn't know it was an actual job option when I was really young because I thought that you had to, like, I really love my mom, and I know she was an accountant, and I wanted to be like my mom, so I just said, oh, I want to be an accountant. For years, I always said, oh, I want to be an accountant, but I never really wanted to be an accountant. I just saw my mom was an accountant, and I was like, well, that's what you do. Adults are accountants, so I want to be an accountant. But then around ninth grade is when I was like, I'm making the conscious decision to be a performer for the rest of my life.
Have you felt like people like your mom or other people in your life have been supportive in your respect as an artist and as a queer artist? Have you met?
Oh, my mom's my biggest supporter. My mom is my biggest supporter. She's my biggest fan. I have two partners, and they both are very supportive. Shout out to Jacob Ritz and Ezra Michelle, who are my two partners. They are both very supportive of my endeavors. They're also both artists themselves. Jacob is a photographer and actor, and Ezra is an actor and a singer. So I've been very lucky to be surrounded by creative types or people who support the arts my whole life.
Have you ever met obstacles in terms of people or just energies even that have sort of pushed against your determination, your energy, your forward momentum as an artist?
Yeah,
And
hi New Zealand. I was reading the comments, by the way. Hi New Zealand to those folks out there. Hi. Could you imagine if I never met an obstacle? How smooth. Could you imagine if I was like, no, I've actually never faced an obstacle as long as I've been alive? No, of course. I mean, probably one of the biggest obstacles that I face as an artist is financial insecurity starting out my career and like how am I gonna make money and how am I gonna like pay my bills, and then also like is there a glass ceiling to this drag business and this comedy stuff? Like will I ever get past the local level? Can I is there a retirement plan? Is there a 401k? What am I going to do when I'm 65 and I can't, like, what is the future of performance for me? And I still ask myself those questions.
I think it's so remarkable to hear from someone like you who is so successful in so many mediums of performance, right? You do your live shows. You have a live comedy show that is you're doing virtually. You've been on several TV shows to this point, along with winning RuPaul's Drag Race. It's like, girl, I've been thinking about those residuals right now in this pandemic. I'm like, when do those come through?
Well, I don't get residuals from Drag Race. I wish.
That would be the dream. The dream. Okay, we'll make it happen for the next week.
That was not part of the deal. That was not part of the deal.
We'll set up the youngins, right?
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit about your work in the multitude of mediums that you work in performance? Whether that's something that you're working on your writing, because I know when we met, you were working on a show at the Berkeley Rep in their summer programming, their summer development programming. Do you want to tell us a little about that, or anything else that you're working on and developing that you're really excited
about? Sure. When we met, I was working on a show, on a play, a musical called Harriet Tubman Live in Concert, which is a musical about Harriet Tubman and her. This, I've imagined Harriet Tubman with a hip hop album, and also in an attempt to like also make, our history accessible to the youth, to the kids.
Yeah.
And also interesting for me as well. And I've been working on that still. That has not gone unforgotten. But after we did that show, I was cast in We're Here on HBO, which has been greenlit for a second season, and the show is now Emmy nominated.
Yes, you beat me to it.
The show is now Emmy nominated.
Yes.
And so I'm working on that, and I released my special in February called Bob the Drag Queen Live at Caroline's, which is, I'm really, really proud of. It's available on Amazon and iTunes. You can go check it out.
That's so thrilling. I love that you did this brilliant comedian and performer and storyteller, and you found so many different ways to do it. I'm wondering, is that something that you knew you wanted to do at a young age, that you'd want to touch comedy, that you'd want to touch TV, like that you'd want to do it all? Or is that
I always wanted to be a stand-up. I want to be a stand-up comedian ever since I saw Chris Rock do stand-up. I just really love Chris Rock. He's so brilliant. And I remember I also used to listen to MLK speeches and be like, I also want to be a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Which I guess is interesting behavior for a high schooler. But I also remember being like, I want to be like that, but funnier. Because MLK gave some great speeches, not very funny.
Not a comedian, but very, very influential. Very influential, for sure.
But I do find the ability to, and I see it in other artists and myself as well, hopefully, the ability to inspire people through my comedy.
And now, when it comes to young people in particular, what would you say to a young person right now who's like up and coming, who wants to perform but doesn't know how to? What piece of advice would you give that young person today?
Well, I just say, honestly, I know that for me, I was really feeding into the idea of the American dream, which essentially says, if you work hard enough, you can get anything. And I actually find it a little bit problematic, inherently a little problematic, because it also says, if you didn't get it, you didn't want it bad enough. If you didn't get it, you didn't work hard enough for it. So it's something you did. It also doesn't point out the fact there are systems in place to make sure certain people don't get certain places without a lot of struggle. And even then, only certain people get to make it through that system. You know what I mean? So it's less about reaching these goals that society has put on us, getting this many followers, getting this many TV shows. I know that's rich coming from someone with over 1 million followers who's been on a few TV shows. But it also, before I had the followers on TV show, I was still happy because it is about finding a sense of what makes you happy. Like, if you're, for me, being happy performing I was always happy performing, whether I was making a lot of money or a little bit of money. As long as I could pay my bills and I could perform, I'd be happy. You know?
Hmm.
So it really is about being able to find a sense of um, self-joy that isn't revolving around monetary value or revolving around your social footprint.
Oh, yes. Yes. I so appreciate you acknowledging that. And continuing to come back to that that fear of financial insecurity that I realize so many artists experience. It is, the world out there right now is very difficult. I'm wondering if you could go back. I feel like I need a little picture of you and like to throw you back to your season and be like, if you could talk
Right?
to your version of you when you were a little
Oh, wait,
kid,
hold on. Don't move.
do it. Give me it. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. My heart is racing. We're talking about the drag queen at the Future Perfect Project. If you're watching, please be sure to follow the Future Perfect Project. Please send any queer teens, young people, our way so that we can provide them with free arts programming for them to experience.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find the picture,
Okay.
but I had a picture of my niece. It's not me, but oh, here's a picture of me. I am technically I am technically younger in this picture than I am now.
Oh, she's so pretty. Is that you with the
But
crown?
no, that's no, it's actually a bracelet. It's a couple of bracelets I put around my hair. Yo, tricky queen.
Make it work. You make it work.
I'm sorry, but I interrupted you. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I love you. We just got a comment from, so funny. So I was in School of Rock when I was a little kid, and I just want to shout out to Roz, who's watching right now. Roz was Jack Black's hair and makeup person, and she is still with him 15 years later, maybe even before we did School of Rock. And she loves you. She's obsessed with you. So I just want to throw out some love to Roz.
Well, you and Raj should both know. I don't think I ever told you that School of Rock is actually one of my favorite movies.
No, tell
I
me more.
can I can quote it really, really well. Schneebly. I really love that movie. I just remember watching it and being like, this is a I genuinely think it is a really brilliant movie. I still love it.
I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of School of Rock. To recognize how perfect it is to bring up now in terms of talking about young people and young artists. It still remains this piece of film, but also comedy that brings lightness to sort of the challenges that we have in performing and the different speaking of obstacles too, that a lot of those young people experience. As Zach's dad's like, you should be be a businessman. He wants to play guitar. And I just want to
Right?
acknowledge to all young people, you can do it all. You truly can. Something that I like to impart to a lot of my students, and I'm interested to hear what you would say, is, you want to be a businessman, you want to be an accountant like your mom perhaps, you can bring in your art to that form, to whatever that is. Public speaking, engaging in discourse with people, those are all elements learned through the arts. And I'm glad that you're one of those people I can have a discourse with about it, and that we can continue to open the lines for other young people to join us. I'm wondering, just going back, what would you say to the young you? Like, if you could give yourself a piece of advice to say, how do I get to this point? Or how do I get to this peace of mind?
Yeah.
Not just where you are in your career, but spiritually where you are. What kind of
But
advice
I
would you
get
give yourself?
asked that question a lot. And, it sounds like a cop out, but it's true. I wouldn't say anything. Because if I said something, I'd probably just end up somewhere else. Like, I'm afraid, I believe in the butterfly effect. So you go back and say one little thing, and then everything's thrown off. And then next thing you know, I'd end up somewhere else, and I'd be doing something else, and I'd be someone else. So as of right now, I would just say, you know what? I would just look back and be like, I would just be in the back of the auditorium or the school play, clapping even louder, clapping extra loud, going woo, or like cheering
Yes.
for myself.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. Because it's my dad was saying today earlier, I'm still learning how to drive, and work on parallel parking.
Oh,
And
you don't know how to drive?
huh?
You don't know how to drive?
Girl, I don't know how to drive. That's why I get service. I use Lyft. I get someone to
That's
drive
so
me.
cute. I would love to see you trying to learn how to drive. That's so
It's
cute.
great. It's great. My dad, he was saying, though, he got real deep and profound. He was like, if a tree falls in the woods, does it really fall? I was like, it's sort of what you're saying. Like, if I were to interrupt the process, how would I get here?
Well,
So
the
I think it's
question,
really,
the answer to that question is if a tree falls in the wood, it does fall. And I also think that that statement in and of itself certainly puts people in a position where we believe that other things exist solely for us. So it's
mhm,
like, if I don't see it fall, it didn't fall. Or, that tree has a whole life that
mhm.
doesn't revolve around you. So
It's
whatever happened to the tree obviously happened to the tree, whether or not you were there. Not that your dad was
yes.
looking for an answer.
No, but I think I mean, that's beautiful. Literally, a tree fell in my backyard during Hurricane Isaias or Tropical Storm Isaias, like 100-year-old tree. So I think this is like you in the closet. This is all very symbolic. I think
Were
it's
you
just,
there when it fell?
I was in the house. The dog. It was a situation. I was very nervous, but I'm
But even
alive.
if
I
you all
made
had
it.
been on vacation, that tree would have still fallen.
That tree would have still fallen. I think it says something to like actions matter. Our actions matter, and what we do and how we react, how we respond to things, particularly as queer people, as queer artists, has something to, ripple effects. It changes the course for other people. And I think the louder we are, or the more that we accept who we are, however loud you express that, whether that's through a teacup or, raging through the streets, it has an
Mhm.
effect if we're being able to be true to ourselves. And you're just such a person that I know to be true to themselves. And I'm just, again, so grateful for your time that you were willing to like come chit chat, have some love, and spread some love.
I
Um,
love talking to you.
I enjoy talking to you as well. It's a joy bringer. Especially the fact that like I would love for you to come meet some of our young people in workshops and things like that. So like we'll talk more because they're very when we were getting ready to have this conversation with you, there was so much love and excitement around how you influence young people. I'm wondering if there are any questions in the chat, people that want to throw out a question. We have a minute or two. You're getting love from all over the world, which you must
Oh,
be.
that's so amazing.
Also, I'm getting love, which I'm really grateful for. So I'm gonna
And you
really just
deserve it, quite frankly.
Oh my God! Someone said I'm 37 and I don't drive. You are good, kid. Love you, Queen. Asking you to vote. That's their. I love that handle. Any questions in the chat? Okay, well, I'll leave them to come to your wall. Oh, did it make
My
it sound
favorite
beautiful?
book right now. My favorite book right now is The Good Lord Bird. It's a great book. It won the National Book Award, I want to say 2019, and it's amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Will you ever star in more movies, TV shows? Do you have anything? Well, I know, like we mentioned, season 2 of We Are Here, you go into these communities and you just bring your beautiful queer self to these people. How are you feeling about season 2?
I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I don't know. We don't have a start date or anything yet because of where we are with COVID-19. But the answer is I'm very, very excited.
Excellent, excellent. We'll
And
have
to
to
answer
keep.
the question, would you ever come to Canada? I think I probably performed in Canada maybe 25 or 30 times now. So I
Oh,
love Canada.
excellent. Well, you know what? That's so funny. I was reaching out to some people in Canada, some LGBTQ senators in Canada. So bring those Canadian queer teens over to the Future Perfect Project. We do everything online and for free. And with that, it's a beautiful segue into an exciting announcement of our fall programming. Do you want to hear about our fall programming?
I would love that.
Oh my God. So every Monday, we're going to continue having these beautiful Future Perfect Project live, Insta lives. We've had amazing guests. Last week, we had Caitlin Kinnunen of the Tony Award nominated production of the Prom on Broadway. We had Theo Germain of the future of The Politician on Netflix. And with some wonderful guests, including yourself. On every Tuesday, we're going to have what we call Homeroom, which will be our writer's workshop from the summer. That's turning into, oh, wow, we're doing it at 7 p.m. We're doing it at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it's like your after school, late night club hangout before you go to bed. And then we're bringing back our WRQR, We're Queer Radio, which we did an amazing show of, Bob. You would love their show. It was all about this. They're putting on a Shakespeare play.
I'll
And
work.
it was brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. And then
Also,
we
to
also
everyone
have
saying I look confused, I'm trying to read at the same time, and I read really slowly, so I look confused. 'Cause I'm like, but I am listening to everyone. I'm not confused. I know what's going on.
I'm also throwing a lot of information at you, Bob. I'm like filling your well right now. So like
Oh, I
people
got
just
it.
recognize that
Homeroom,
Bob's here.
radio, Shakespeare. I got it.
Yes, yes. Oh, do you like Black is King?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I don't think. Yeah, it was good. It was a good show. I mean, movie. It was like a good visual album.
Visual album. Yeah.
I particularly liked um the song "Power" and that performance.
Your power, my power,
Yeah.
I love that song. Truly. And just continuing on with our programming, we have some new programming for middle schoolers and college age folks, which is very new for us and very exciting. Also, we have specialty workshops, which I'm gonna like pick your brain and see if there's something you want to work on. On
Like with me,
Saturdays,
like me leading a workshop.
if you wanted to, we could talk about it. I'm no pressure. This is me just putting it
I
out
was
there.
like, I wouldn't come to my. I wouldn't want to learn anything from me, girl.
Oh God, you teach in living. You teach in living. Power of example.
There it is.
And then so we're doing specialty workshops 1 to 2 Saturdays a month, and then we have a public sharing of work every month. And you can find out more information about these events on our website, thefutureperfectproject.com. And you can also follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram now. And there's a link in our bio to sign up for the rest of our summer programming and for our fall programming coming up. So I am just going to, again, say how grateful I am for your time, for your energy, for your willingness to be here with us.
My pleasure.
Just again.
I just said my pleasure.
Again, yeah. I love you. I love you. Just again to tell everyone about season 2 of We Are Here, how exciting that is, and how we'll be watching, and to make sure everyone checks out your show. Remind me it's a streaming of your show at Caroline's.
Well, it's not streaming. You have to buy it on iTunes or Amazon, but you know you can buy what you can stream, which is absolutely free. It's on YouTube. It is called Black Queer Town Hall. It is a 3-day event centered around loving, joy, rejoicing, community in the Black queer space. It is on YouTube. It is absolutely free. It's also on Facebook. Just type in Black Queer Town Hall. Or you go to Facebook to Bob the Drag Queen. You can see it there. I'm really, really proud of this. Some really amazing stuff in there. And it's all Black queer artists.
Thank you so much for sharing that and for continuing to be a friend and opening the door to so many other people to be able to experience the Future Perfect Project. I love you so much, and I'll text you later.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of an offer. I'm gonna come see you all in Jersey.
Okay. All right. There's the beach. There's the hikes. We're gonna talk about it.
Work.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.